Another news, the ANC in Mpumalanga says it takes the allegations leveled against the MEC for Agriculture and Land Affairs, Mandla Msibi, very seriously. The party's PEC is expected to meet later this evening to discuss the matter. Msibi faces 2 counts of murder and 1 of attempted murder. His bail application continues tomorrow. Msibi's supporters gathered outside the Nelspruit Magistrate's court to show their support yesterday. The group intimidated our SABC news team, forcing them to leave the area. The charges against Msibi relate to a deadly ANC branch meeting in Mbombela in August, during which 2 people were shot and killed while another was wounded. Yeah, so to speak a little bit more about this and what it means not only for Msibi but the ANC as it continues to campaign, we speak now to Xolani Dube, who's a political analyst with Xubera Institute for Research Development. A very good evening to you, Xolani. Thank you so much for speaking to us. I'd like to start with this fact, the fact that Mpumalanga MEC is facing a murder charge and 2 attempted murder charges, but it's been revealed that he had previously been charged with attempted murder and was only acquitted 3 months ago. What are your thoughts around this, especially his eligibility as a leader and someone campaigning for votes of the governing party?
So we have to understand that Mpumalanga is a cursed province, in silence to be precisely, because when you look at the history of Mpumalanga, from James Kambule to Johnny Mohlala, the one who was killed in relation to the corruption of Mbombela Stadium, and how Lasithiwal fled that province, and now we have Mandla Msibi. And Mandla Msibi, if you can read his CV, you will see that he's not different from any street gangster. And so we were worried and we were taken aback. What made Refilwe to appoint her to that position? But we understood that his appointment was very factional, and his appointment was to strengthen the faction of Refilwe as well as of Cyril Ramaphosa in Mpumalanga. And so for the ANC today, coming back to the society and telling us that the man must step aside, really, it makes us wonder whether ANC do have filter the leaders of the ANC to the highest position. But it seems as if ANC's got no filter that really determines who's supposed to occupy the honorable position in our society.
So we'll get to the bigger picture in just a moment, but the allegation that the MEC was involved in an incident in which 2 men were shot dead and a 3rd wounded, we know that there's been much debate around when to step aside. Should there be a guideline on when this should happen voluntarily?
Look, even for a person of his position, to be associated with such kind of brutality to the members of society, really, it questions, as I've said, the leadership criteria and the people that associate with the ANC or the ANC that associates itself with. And the issue of step aside, look at what is happening currently in what we call it in the Eastern Cape, where arrogantly Oscar Mabuyane has labeled the what we call it the public protector in a very demeaning manner, and how the ANC has been labeling the public protector from Fikile Mbabulula, who told us that she is a hired gun of the RT. And so it's a piece of a very clear line here has been drawn that says a certain faction in the ANC, if that particular faction is powerful and that faction is immune or is exonerated from being prosecuted.
And this is the part I want to talk about. The Mpumalanga Premier saying that she'll take appropriate action. What should we read into this? And has the party been consistent in its application of this and understanding of the step-aside policy? We've seen this being subjected to legal opinion through not only Esma Khashula, but even the ANC itself, having legal minds saying this kind of broad policy could result in legal action because of the constitutionality thereof.
Look, the tongue twisting that The tongue twisting that we are hearing from the president as well as from Refilwe, it shows that the ANC is no longer singing from the same hymn book. And so that also confuses us as the ordinary society members.
So what do you think is likely to happen, given the fact that we are going to local government elections and skeletons could possibly be unearthed, exhumed, so to speak? Or, I mean, for me, it's quite curious to hear the fact that the Premier says she must wait for the courts to make a pronouncement. Now, with regards to the previous charge against the MEC, it was dismissed because it was said based on the reliability of the witnesses. But we understood earlier on it was just a mere mention of serious allegations that should make people step aside, whether voluntarily or not.
As I'm saying, so here we are seeing a display of factional reasoning here. Because if justice was supposed to be applied blindly, I think the MEC, as we speak, was not supposed to be the part of the discourse in our country, because the rules are very clear in the ANC that those who are charged are not supposed to occupy the position of honorable in our society.
So just a final question here. Should this be the purview of the PEC, or should it be national that makes a decision on this? I know at some point it was said that because so-and-so has appeared before the Integrity Commission, this is what the Integrity Commission found. But I would imagine that it would cascade the authority down to the PEC if there is uniformity in understanding and application of the step-aside policy.
Look, as I've said, there is no rule of law in the ANC. What is currently prevailing in the ANC is the rule of a particular faction and a strong faction. And the faction that is weak, we have seen it. They are removing it from the ANC. Look what happened to Ace Magashule and the others who were belonging to the other faction. And so the current justice that is happening in the ANC currently is the justice that protects the strongest faction. And that strongest faction is the faction of Cyril Ramaphosa.
Xolani Dube, political analyst from Xubera Institute for Research and Development. Thank you very much. And it is according to the ANC's own constitution, which says, simply put, office bearers and members who fail to comply or execute the step-aside resolution of the NEC are guilty of committing an act of misconduct.